This, the Class C state final between the Skaneatles Lakers at 21-2, taking on the Shoreham-Wading River Wildcats at 20-1. Well, good to see everybody. Jimmy Cavallo, our entire Cablevision Sports gang. Welcome to Hofstra Stadium and the New York State boys Class C state final, the end of the long championship road. All points to this day, the state final. Two teams looking to crown themselves the state's finest. Only one will move away with the title. Skaneatles, the Lakers, out of the Syracuse area, about a half an hour away, Section 3, taking on Suffolk County Section 11 champion, the Wildcats of Shoreham-Wading River. Well, joining me here on our set, he's been with us all season long on Cablevision Sports, calling the lacrosse action. Carrie Gluck is in the house, and Carrie Gluck, wow, this is it. You know, when you take the field in early April, and your team, and your drills, and practices, and games, you always have in the back of your mind, boy, would it be great to get to a state championship. The phrase, there is no tomorrow, that means today. There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. You leave it on the field in this game today, Jimmy. And, of course, back in March, this is the goal. 266 schools. This is what they're shooting for. Only 6 remain.
Oh, you got to love about this game the underlying tone. Two teams making their first appearance in the state finals. Boy, that really says something about these programs. And when you talk about Skaneatles, the Lakers started the year with a couple losses. They have just ripped off 20 straight wins to make it here. Let's take a look at the road to the top for those Lakers out of Skaneatles. They have taken care of their opponents. You see the scores, 14-3, 9-5, 12-10, and then a tough one against Penn Yan. Their nemesis, 7-5. They get by in the semifinals, and those Lakers find themselves here playing for a state championship right here at Hofstra Stadium. Let's talk about the Skaneatles Lakers. And when you talk about this team, boy, Eric Pittard, the senior attackman, he has been the star they need him to be, Carrie Gluck.
Absolutely. Eric Pittard, he is an outstanding attackman. Jimmy, he is one of the best. He is their all-time leading scorer. He's got 124 points this year. He's got great speed. He carries the ball well. Very quick first step. But what makes him dangerous, Jimmy, is not only is he able to put the ball in the back of the net, he's also able to see the field and get his assists. He's got 66, 58 assists. I'll tell you right now, he is well balanced on the attack. He is dangerous. He can score it and light him up, and he can also feed when he gets the double.
Yeah, you get into a New York State championship, not too bad having your all-time leading scorer on the field. They will have him. And also, when you talk about stars for Skaneatles, boy, Pat Reelman, the senior midfielder, you talk about a state semifinal, big game. They scored 7 goals. He had 5 of them.
Well, he is their top midi, no doubt about it. 84 points. Again, well balanced, 47 goals, 37 assists. He is tireless at the midfield. He can run all day. He creates. But what makes him so effective, again, he gets doubled up, and he looks to dump the ball off and give the others the good shot.
All right, and on the other side of the docket, you talk about the Shoreham-Wading River Wildcats. Not a team that's been around a long time. Only 8 years have the Wildcats been in existence. And Tom Rotance's club has followed up their first ever Long Island championship by taking the distance all the way to the state final. Let's take a look at the SWR road to the top as they play for the 2002 Boys Class C final. They took out Mount Sinai 15-2. Harbor Fields 13-2. That's the tough one. Cold Spring Harbor. They really controlled that game 12-8. And then you see against Somers, a nail-biting nip and tuck affair. They had to come back 11-10 against Somers, and Shoreham-Wading River finds themselves in a New York State final. When you talk about these Wildcats, boy, Liam Cervini, the senior midfielder, all you got to say, 7 points in the state semifinals. He's been outstanding.
He certainly has. He's played outstanding all year long. He also the leading scorer at Shoreham-Wading River. He's got 94 points, closing in on the big 100, the century mark. Last year he had over 100 points with 108. He is all-county. He is a leading scorer. He is tough to go at the cage. He does his best when he inverts. Match him up with the short stick. He's going to go behind the cage, and he's going to take you to the cage.
Yeah, 10-6 against Somers. They were leading. Somers scores 3 in a row to make it 10-9. Liam Cervini, the biggest goal in this program's existence, to make it 11-9. They never looked back after that. Star number 2, Chris Unterstein, the senior. He had another outstanding semifinal. 5 points for him.
Well, you know you expect Chris Unterstein to have a great game. He is an All-American. He's big, great size, 6'2", 190. He's able to go to the cage using his body and strength. He's a finisher, 77 points with 50 goals. He's got very good speed, very dangerous when he goes to the cage. And again, a very smart, intelligent player on the field. He knows when to get rid of it. He knows when to shoot it.
Kerry Gluck, you do not get to a New York State championship lacrosse game unless you have quality guys in between the pipes. I'm talking about the two goalies, and in this game we have two outstanding ones. For sure in Wading River, it's the junior, Matt DeMarco. What a big save he made in the semis. And Eddie Clark, the senior for Skaneatles, 22 saves in the semifinals.
Both these two goalies, you're right, you don't get into championship games unless you have the good goaltenders. Both these two goaltenders have stepped it up big in the semifinals through the whole states. They are great outlet passers. Watch them get their teams into transition. Watch them stand tall in the cage and come up with the big saves.
Kerry Gluck, you have two teams making their first appearance. Now, you know these teams have been in outstanding playoff runs. They have been playing elimination lacrosse for a long time now. But is there any extra nerves, anything else a coach has to tap into in a game like this? They know they're not moving on. They know this is for all the chips.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Skaneatles comes down here. They have 9 seniors on their starting lineup out of 10. That's a lot of experience, but they have never played in this game. On the other side, Shoreham, still with a number of seniors, has never played here. Nerves are going to be a factor early on. I think you're going to see if a team gets off to an early start, it's going to be tough for the other team to come back in this one.
All right, Kerry Gluck, good to see you along the way. Enjoy the broadcast today. Kerry will join Hal Sass up in the booth while you talk about New York State Finals. Let's take you back down memory lane with a little quick flicks. The year was 2000 out of Nassau County. Came those Lynbrook Owls. Would they close the whole deal? Check out here the quick flicks.
Doniger with 4 goals, looking for number 5. He's got it. Matt Speck blocking it, but it's picked up by Lynbrook. With the left hand now, throwing it in front, and a goal for Overs. To the middle to Naso. Naso looking to run. Naso down low, and a goal. Keep an eye on the motion. A couple of picks being set down low. Look for the quick feed as they go to the cage, and they score. 3:10 to go, third quarter. Sinkyu working on Wood to the cage and scores. Ryan Sinkyu. Drew Bucktooth behind the back pass, in front, and a goal. So Lynbrook will start out. Still a man down for another 35 seconds.
I don't understand why they're not doubling the ball right now. Just got to get the ball back to play offense.
Nice play there as Glentz carries it into the cross midfield, into the zone. He's going to take it to the cage. In the left hand, shifts it to the right, scores man down.
A heartbreaker when that happens.
Grant Bucktooth back to Sullivan, far side, and a goal. With 20 seconds to go, man up. Doniger to the cage, fires and scores. Number 8, call it man up. This is Sullivan. Sullivan to the middle, looking down low. Has a man and a shot to score. Ball comes up and a big stop there. Aida with a save, but the rebound put in by Sullivan. Zinkyu with a pair. To the cage, knocked down. Rebound scooped up and put in. Brian Peterson, the junior midfielder. It is the Lynbrook Owls, the New York State Class C champions, by the score of 17-12. Larry Glenn's and the team celebrate.
Yeah, the Lynbrook Owls, your champions in the year 2000 at 29-goal state final. What does the 2002 game have in store for us? It's straight ahead. Skaneatles, the Lakers, taking on Shore Wading River. This is Cablevision Sports.
Adelph, I never feel lost in the crowd.
Hey, where do you go for your Long Island Ducks?
Hey, Woodbury, we get the Duck games on Cablevision Channel 70. Yay!
If you can't get enough Long Island Ducks this season, then catch them on Cablevision Sports. Don't miss all the action when the Bridgeport Bluefish take on the Long Island Ducks, Friday, June 14th at 7. Live from Citibank Park. It's not just baseball, it's Atlantic League baseball. Brought to you locally by Marches of Huntington Village.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Today's New York State Class C Championship game is being brought to you by Adelphi University. Check them out on the web at adelphi.edu or call 1-800-ADELPHI. And by Cablevision, local programming, TV that's close to home. From Hofstra Stadium in Hempstead, New York, Hal Sass along with Carrie Gluck. Glad to be with you for our coverage of Championship High School lacrosse here on Cablevision Sports. And Carrie, when you look at this matchup, Skaneatles, Shoreham-Wading River, two teams that have never been in the New York State Championship. Nerves could play a factor here. Ron Doctor, the head coach for Skaneatles, says his team is a little bit nervous. First quarter could be a key. On the other side, Shoreham-Wading River coach Tom Rotans, he's so nervous, he was at the school at 6 a.m. filling up the water jugs.
Well, you know, nerves are definitely going to be a factor early on. Anyone who steps on the field today is going to have some butterflies early in the game. But they'll get over it real quick. Possession will be the key right in the start. Let them throw the ball around and get loose.
Well, let's take a look at the lineups that will be on the field right now for today's New York State Class C Championship. These are two teams that can light it up offensively, and they can do the job defensively. Skaneatles on the attack, Petard, Doctor, and Haswell. In the midfield, Reelman with 5 goals in the semis, Doctor and DeVoe. And the defense led by Joe Bone, Glenn Morley, and John Lynch. And the goaltender, he will be a key in this game, Ed Clark, the senior. 22 saves in the game against Penn Yan. He has good pass skills. He comes out of the cage. He needs a big game for Ron Doctor and the Lakers of Skaneatles High School. And on the other side, for Tom Rotans' club, Tom Rotans in his 8th year, his first Long Island championship. They come in 20-1, and they are led by this attack, Chris Unterstein, Mark Warner, and the Shack attack, Lee Shaknowski. In the midfield, Liam Cervani. Look at that, 3-2, 5 points in the semis. Gonzella on the faceoffs, Ferrara. And the defense, Guapone, Dinellen, Gleason, solid throughout this championship run. And the key in the pipes, the guy before the game I spoke to said, hey, I am as calm as could be, Matt DeMarco. Tom Ratan says, Hal, this kid will never have a heart attack. He's just so calm. So those are our starters in today's matchup. The winner here captures the first New York State Class C Championship. Working today's game on the sidelines for Cablevision Sports is Keith Irizarry.
How when you take a look at both of these coaches, Ron Doctor, he got a chance to see the game tape of Shoreham-Wading River. His opposing coach and Tom Rotans did not get a chance to see any game tape. So Ron Doctor in his 20th year at the helm, and when you take a look at his team, it's a well-balanced team both offensively and defensively. They like to run a patient offense, but they will run some dodge. They'll go towards the cage if they can. He feels like his team needs to get some early confidence, and as I mentioned, he did see the game tape of his opposing team. For Shoreham-Wading River, we take a look at Tom Rotans. In his 8th year at the helm of the Wildcats, his team, there's 3 keys to the game. Run a balanced offense, as well as just moving the ball around the perimeter, and he said, turnover-wise, he has to minimize the turnovers. He also agrees confidence early on in the game is going to be very important. Stopping Eric Pittard may be a tough task, but John Denelin will be up for it. Both of these coaches looking for their first chance at a state championship on the Class C level. We go back up to the booth.
All right, Keith and Carrie Gluck, you know, the first quarter, the first 12 minutes, these kids right now, probably a little feeling out process. Skaneatles came down yesterday. They bust down from Skaneatles, left at about 8:30 in the morning, arrived down at the dorms at Adelphi University where they were put up last night. Got there around 2:30 in the afternoon, had a light practice over at Adelphi. Came out here today, had their first opportunity to practice on this turf. For Tom Rotans and Shoreham-Wading River, they know this turf. They've been here twice this week. As we take a look at the officiating crew that will work this game, it's a mixed bunch. Ed Schreiber from Section 8, Tom Sutton from Section 6, Andy Anderson from Section 4, and Tim Murray also from Section 8. They are the officials in today's New York State Class C Championship Final.
Well, you know, you talk about the turf, Hal. I don't think it's going to be that big a factor. You know, you have to understand Skaneatles has played up at Coyne Field, up at Syracuse on a number of occasions, so they're used to playing on the turf, which is very similar to the Hofstra University field. Certainly Shoreham has played their last 3 games here, so they are familiar with playing on turf. So I don't know if it's going to be that much of a factor as we watch both these two teams get used to the feeling and the emotion of the game, which I think is going to be more of a factor.
There's a look at Tom Rotans, and First thing he said to me, boy, I had a tough night. I think I slept from 2 to 3:15. He's been very restless going into this game. But the team itself has taken the other approach. As you look around the stadium, the signs are out, the fans. They got to the team bus today, and it was decorated by the time they got on it. Everybody in the community has gotten behind them. And for Tom Rotan's, a loss today wouldn't be a lost season, but it really would leave a lump in his throat that he certainly doesn't want.
Well, I don't think any coach, once you've gotten this far, Hal, you've just made it through 3 months of hard work, starting back in March, and I don't think any coach at this point is going to feel good about getting here and not winning and not taking it all.
Ron Doctor in his 20th year at the helm for Skaneatles. He started the program. He's gone 292 and 114 in his career. Kind of a shy type of guy. When I spoke to him yesterday, actually, I got him on the cell phone on the team bus as they were getting into New York City. Says, I kind of shy away from it. I leave that to the team. It's their job to go out on the field and achieve. He's assisted by Dave Pittard on the defensive end, Mark Ferrito on the offensive side, and Reggie Thorpe will control the box and the substitutions. And everybody's got to play their role today, Carrie. There it is right there. Championship lacrosse at its best, and we will see that on this field today.
Absolutely. And these youngsters have earned and worked hard to get here and win the accolades that go along with that.
Skaneatles has a potent offense led by Pittard, 62 goals, 57 assists, 119 points. And as good as he is with those numbers, he's been balanced. He's scored virtually every game this year. He's had 4 games where he's had 6 or more goals. In fact, he had an 8-goal game against Chittenango. 8 goals, 3 assists, and 11 points. And that followed up a game against Marcellus where he had 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. So back-to-back games. I mean, this guy can get it done.
Hey, he is capable of putting it up big time on the scoreboard, and that's going to be a great matchup. Watching Donnell and the old Long Island defenseman taking on Pittard is going to be a great matchup, but you got to watch the other players as well. I think we're going to see some real good head-to-head matchups. Whippone from Shoreham playing against Chris Doctor, and then Fratello, the long pole, playing against Reelman at the midfield.
Shoreham in the white jerseys comes up with the face-off as Gonzella beats Vince Doctor, and we're underway. Chris Unterstein, number 33, being watched by Joe Bone, the senior, gives it back up, and it's Mark Warner, who likes to work behind the cage. We'll see if he eventually gets himself set up. Behind the goal, protected by Ed Clark. This is Chris Cook. One of the captains. They do feed it behind the net to Werner. Far side, Shagnowski. Up top, Cervini. Regains, working one-on-one against Sean Byrne. They get it down low. Here's a shot for Farrar, and that goes over the cage. But they have backer support in Mark Warner.
Well, you know what? Liam Cervini had the short stick on him. Now they switch to the pole. They put their long pole on him. I think that's John Fairhurst from the Skaneatles picking up Cervini.
They go back behind the net. The best defender is Bone. He's battling one-on-one with Unterstein. Unterstein feeds it up top for Farrar. Ferrara gets checked, pulls it back out, away from the check of Kevin Austin, the senior midi. Well, Carrie, the coaches said they want to feel each other out right now. Minute 10 in. Pretty much what we see out here right now.
Exactly. It's exactly what you want to see. What both teams now, of course, Shoreham being on offense first, they want to see where the slides are coming from. Once you attack the cage, they want to see where the second slide is to be able to find that open fade if they can connect on it.
Warner trying to come out from behind the net. Signals in front. Pass there for Shagnowski. Can't handle. Bone goes over. Cannot get the ground ball. And the ball goes out of bounds, and Shoreham will retain possession. So we played a minute 37, and so far, Skaneatles hasn't even touched the ball yet.
Well, we said early on they're just going to pass the ball around, feel each other out a little bit, see what kind of defense they're playing. And learn a little bit about the other team. This is the learning process is going on right now. We're not going to see, I don't think, them really get into the match much until the second quarter when both teams have had a chance to get on offense.
Ferreira, bounce shot knocked away. Able to pick up behind the net is Unterstein. Being watched by Joe Bone, the best defender for Skaneatles. Cervini gets a step. The shot knocked down by Clark. Big save in the early going, just 2:05 in.
Now you watch that matchup. Sean Byrne, a sophomore, number 10, short stick, was going against Liam Cervini. I think anytime you see Cervini has that short stick on him, he's going to go to the cage just like you just saw. Here we'll take a look at that save. Here you see Cervini. See, he's got that short stick, takes that shot. He places it down low, goes off stick side on Ed Clark. but he has really been stepping up very, very big for Skaneatles.
Clark, the Husky 6-footer in the cage. Good positioning, comes up with his first stop. And now we'll take a look at the Skaneatles Laker offense for the first time. Joe Bone carries into the offensive zone, met there by Kevin Unterstein. Feeds it over to Pat Reelman, who had 5 goals in their big victory to advance to this championship game.
Now this is going to be a great matchup. Fratello, the long pole defensive midfielder, against Reelman up top. And here's the other matchup we talked about just a little while ago. Donnellan against Pittard.
They work it back behind the cage. Chris Doctor, number 7. One of the 2 doctors on the team. They are the sons of Coach Ron Doctor. A third doctor, Kyle, plays on the JV, and he's doing things that the seniors do right now. He'll be up with the varsity next year. Pittard looking to work on the defensive John Donnellan, the best defenseman, keeping an eye on the 119-point scorer, Eric Pittard. Forces them back behind the cage. Pittard looks to get a step towards the net. Again, Donnellan forces him. He stepped in the crease, and it goes over to Shoreham Waiting River.
Oh, there's a mental mistake. An unforced turnover for Skaneatles. Can't afford to make those turnovers and give the ball up that easy. You got to make the defense work to come up with possession.
So we'll check out the ride of the Lakers as Shoreham Waiting River looks to clear. Goaltender DeMarco out of the cage. Nobody covering right now, forced out of bounds. And a strong ride causes the turnover back to Skaneatles.
Excellent ride put up by the Lakers. Chris Doctor on the other side did a great job. They played up a little one-up, two-back zone ride. We're able to force that turnover along the sideline. So now you'll have to see. Now Shoreham will have to adjust to that ride to see what kind of clear they're going to put in the next time they have possession.
It didn't look like DeMarco had much help. It was him on his own, and that was about it. And there's a useless turnover right there, as Chris Doctor was looking for his teammate. So he was looking for Derek Haswell. Haswell not looking. Ball turned over to Shoreham.
Now those are the early jitter mistakes that a team is going to make in this game.
Donnellan. DeMarco comes out to help on the clear. Donnellan gets it up near midfield to Gleason. Checked out of his stick as he makes the pass. And recovered by John Fairhurst of Skaneatles. Quickly up to Chris Doctor. He gets doubled.
Now
Gleason and Cook.
What the Lakers are doing on their ride is they're trapping the Wildcats along the sideline. They're forcing them to the sideline clear, and then they're trapping them up along that sideline, which is a very effective move.
Kevin Austin able to pick up that pass. Gives it over to Steve Babbles, 26-goal scorer, heading to the cage. Babbles looks for a shot, and that one's able to be gripped up there by DeMarco. And we've played 4.5 minutes, and we are scoreless. New York State Class C Championship, and again, the ride causes the turnover.
And also a little bit of jitters again. I think the first time we've seen Liam Gleason handle the ball, he threw that one away. But again, you saw Babbles go to the cage. A save, first time for DeMarco to have to come up with the ball on a save. He put it down low on the stick side. Here you are back in that matchup that we talked about, Donnellan and Pittard.
Joe DeVoe, number 8, in front of the net. Chris Doctor, number 7, with the ball right now, being watched by Guapone. Doctor tries going to the net. He's checked there. Ball on the turf, and it's scooped up by Derek Haswell.
Yeah, but you saw the double come from number 7, Kevin Unterstein. He helped out on the defense. See, those are the little things right now that the Lakers, Skaneatles, is going to have to find. Where is that double coming from?
Reelman with the shot that goes high.
And Reelman is the shooter, number 22.
Reelman, the top midi on this team. That 5-goal output against Penn Yan, a career high. Came up big in the biggest game of the year. Pittard, Donnellan, step for step, looking for the feed in the middle, and it's picked off as Mike Unterstein comes up with it for Shoreham Waiting River and leads the rush. Unterstein to his brother Chris. Chris, number 33. Kevin Unterstein, number 7. Mike Unterstein, number 5. The 3 Untersteins for Tom Rotanz's club. Ferrara and Cook come in on the offense, and a flag goes down. The first call of the game, and we'll see what it's going to be.
It's going to be an offsides call. Offsides against the Lakers.
So 30-second man-up opportunity for Shoreham Waiting River. Chris Doctor, Coach Ron Doctor, rather, says his defensive team, man down, has kind of been up and down. They've shown good signs. They've shown some poor signs. We'll see if Shoreham River can take advantage.
Well, traditionally over the course of this year, Shoreham has done an excellent job man up. They've been shooting at about 45%.
We'll see what they do in the 30 seconds as they go behind the cage to Cervini.
This line up in a 1-3-2 offense does the Wildcats.
Cook up top. He gets met there by the defense. Unterstein, the pass across, and it's knocked down by Clark. Rebound picked up by Sheknowski. Sheknowski forced behind the net by Bone. Back out to Warner. Warner looking to work one-on-one, goes up top to Cook. Cook with a long pass in front. That one stopped by Clark on Cervini.
Oh, I think that might have hit the post. I'm not sure if Pipe might have done that one.
Cervini, cross feed, will not connect. And the ball back over to Shoreham, from Shoreham Wading River over to Skaneatles.
That's a tough pass. Cervini trying to go on that cross cage feed. He's got to get it up a little bit higher on a lob, but yet he tried to put that one on the line.
So Shoreham Wading River now 0 for 1 man up. And Skaneatles goes back on the offense. Clark will help on the clear out of the cage, getting it over to Joe Bone.
Eddie Clark looks very comfortable out of the cage, and he looks around. He really surveys the field to find his open man.
John Lynch has it checked away from Matt Fratello. Here they come on the break. Unterstein looking to go to the net, and it's checked out of his stick, and now it's scooped up by Skaneatles. Steve Babbles getting forced, causes the turnover, back into the sticks of Shoreham. Kevin Unterstein came up with it and gave it to Warner, who now feeds it over to Sheknowski. Led by his opposing number 23, John Lynch, gives it back to Warner up top as Cervini and Ferrara come back on. Warner loves working from behind the net. They say he's the point guard on the offense. And the point guard sets up the offense, now sets it up to Chris Cook. Cook gets a step. Cook in front, the pass, they score! Mark Warner on a beautiful feed, and it's 1-0 Shoreham.
Well, you know what Shoreham did really very well there. When Skaneatles switched the sticks and the long stick went over to pick up the ball behind the cage, they gave the ball back to Cook. Cook now has the short stick on him. He goes to the cage, which draws that double from the pole and opens up Mark Warner on the weak side. That was very intelligent play. They really used the short stick well. They attacked the short stick, forced the double, and as soon as that double comes over, they dump it.
Doctor and Gonzella on the faceoff. Gonzella had a great game against Greg Pizer and Cold Spring Harbor. Struggled in the championship game, but they come up with this faceoff win, and it's Gonzella who gains possession and hands off to Ferrara. So score the goal. Mark Warner from Chris Cook at 7:08. Shoreham with the 1-0 lead. Ferrara up to Cervini. He's got Cook in the middle of the field, 20 yards out, but decides to go behind the cage. This is Ferrara working one-on-one against Glenn Morley. Over to Warner, where he'll be met by John Lynch. Shoreham eating up some time, everybody getting a touch. This is Cook, met by Austin. Doing a nice job, Kerry, keeping Shoreham Wading River, though, to the outside. They haven't been able to penetrate in close.
Yeah, but once again, here's a situation you saw just a few moments ago. Chris Cook's now inverted behind the cage. He took his short stick, midfielder on defense, back there with him. I think we're going to really see a lot of inverting by the midfielders when they get the short stick and take over the control and attack from the backside.
Ed Clark able to come up with it. And the goalkeeper starts it out, but there's another bad pass. Joe Bone unable to connect to John Lynch. Turnovers, Kerry, in a game like this, so important. And so far, both teams have done it. It's the third unforced error so far for Skaneatles.
Well, what really created that turnover was Chris Unterstein's pressure on Bone on the clear. He saw Unterstein in his face and tried to get rid of the ball quickly.
On the restart, this is Cook. 3:27 to go. 1-0 Shoreham Wading River.
Cook with the short stick.
Cook battling the short stick of Kevin Austin. Now sends it up top to Cervini. Cervini falls down. Checked by the defense. Able to recover. Cervini being spotted there by John Fairhurst. The shot goes wide. Good defense there by Fairhurst, not giving Cervini any room for the clear shot.
Very good job. Fairhurst is a strong, tough defender. Very quick, so that's going to be a good matchup.
Warner now on Lynch. They go back behind the cage. This is Cook.
See, as long as they keep the short stick on Cook, we're going to see a lot of Cook from the midfield inverting behind this cage.
And watch. I'm sorry, Gary.
And he's going to look to see if he can pick out where the other short stick is.
Also, watch the backdoor play. Shoreham River likes to work that play. As a shot from Unterstein goes wide. And talking to Tom Rotans before the game, we were talking about the last game that they played against Somers, leading by a goal, and Somers deciding to send the goaltender out. And he said Cervini just looked at his teammate and kind of flashed the stick to the right, saying, there's where the pass is. And all of a sudden, the startup happened. And that little stick motion to let his teammate know where to go, perfectly executed. And they tried to go back to it once before today. As that shot is deflected, Cervini's shot stopped by Clark.
You know, but little things like that, those really develop with a team that plays together over a period of time. That didn't just happen in the last week or two. You know, the teammates know Cervini. They know that he's a lefty, but they also know when, you know, where he puts his stick is going to tell them where they want his pass.
And the other thing, Terry, is that's something that a coach cannot teach. That's just instinct. That's the kids working together. Behind the net, Warner is hit hard, but it goes over to Unterstein. He scores!
What a great shot he just took. He pinpointed that shot right over the off-stick shoulder of Eddie Clark. He's known as an accurate shooter with great finish on his shots. Watch it again on the replay. Here's going to be the little dump up to Unterstein. He just winds up, doesn't have much defense in his face. He has a good look at that corner, and boy, did he place it. Look at this shot. Look at that place. Great camera work as he followed the shot over the off-stick shoulder. You couldn't diagram that shot any better than the one Chris Unterstein just took.
Gonzalo doing a nice job on the draw. Shoreham goes back on the offense. He's won all 3 faceoffs so far here in the first quarter, which now shows 1:55 to go, and Shoreham up 2-0 over Skaneatles. This is Mark Warner being spotted again by Lynch. This time Lynch with the long pole. In the box under the last 2 minutes. Now they go behind the net. Fans from Skaneatles who made the trek cheering on their defense. Unterstein to Warner. Minute 25 to go. Patient offensive set. Here's a cutter in front. Shekowski is stopped. Ground ball will be raked up by Ferrara.
Warner had so much time there. He just stood there, was surveying the field, waiting for his cutters because the defenseman was caught in front of the cage.
Cook taking it to the net. Cook has it checked out of his stick. Ball on the turf. Unterstein comes up with it. Goes cross to Cervini. The bounce shot goes wide.
Oh, Cervini, normally he doesn't miss that one. He was wide open. The defense slid over to the side when Cook lost the ball. And that was very, very accurate look by Cook to pick out Cervini on the weak side.
Unterstein rolls and shoots with his right hand. That goes wide. 45 seconds to go. And this quarter, Carey, dominated by the white shirts of Shoreham Wading River. The Wildcats, 20 wins, 1 defeat. Down to 35, Warner looking to take it to the front of the net. Warner wraparound, that's stopped by Clark. And on the ground ball, it's scooped up as Clark has 3 saves. And it's Reelman has it checked away, but it goes to the defense, and now they'll start up Vince Doctor in the final 20. Doctor goes cross field, but that pass gets away also. So Skaneatles not connecting. And Carey, maybe in a situation like this, Coach Doctor, Ron Doctor, needs to tell his team, hey, how about some short passes? They've been trying these long ones, and they're just not connecting.
Well, I think right now Coach Doctor from Skaneatles is just waiting for this quarter to be over. He'll bring his team in, and now he'll say, hey, guys, now let's settle down. Let's play our game a little bit, and let's just, start to look for the simple pass and not look to make the tough one.
They've struggled offensively. Matt DeMarco in the cage for Shoreham, really not tested in the first. On the rush, here comes Gleason. Gleason with a long pole, and a timeout will be taken by Shoreham Wading River. Nope, no timeout. They called it an offside. I thought they were going to try to set up a play once they got in the offensive zone. My mistake. So 2 seconds left, and this clock should run out as this ball is in the wide goal stick of Ed Clark, and that does it for the first 12 minutes of play. So Shoreham Wading River on goals by Mark Warner at 7:08. Chris Unterstein at 9:47 gives Shoreham a 2-0 lead as we head into quarter number 2, New York State Class C Championship.
Hey, where do you go for your Long Island Ducks?
We're from Riverhead, and we watch the Long Island Ducks on Cablevision Channel 88.
If you can't get enough Long Island Ducks this season, then catch them on Cablevision Sports. Don't miss all the action when the Bridgeport Bluefish take on the Long Island Ducks. Friday, June 14th at 7. Live from Citibank Park, it's not just baseball, it's Atlantic League Baseball. Brought to you locally by Marches of Huntington Village.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
Do you enjoy living near parks and forests that bring such natural beauty to Long Island? A wildfire can destroy that natural beauty. To protect your home from wildfire, follow these guidelines. Keep firewood and building materials away from your home. Prune trees that connect to the roof or side of the house. And cut grass and weeds regularly.
This is County Executive Bob Gaffney asking everyone in Suffolk County to protect their homes from wildfires by following these guidelines.
Back at Hofstra Stadium, we get ready to start the second quarter of action. New York State Class C championship game. Shoreham Wading River with a 2-0 lead over Skaneatles as we check in with Keith Irizarry.
Hal, I know you love these little facts and trivia points. 2 out of the 6 teams in these state championship games have the nickname Wildcat. Well, if these players move on to the next level, the popularity of Wildcats does not change. The nickname Wildcats is the most common one on the Division I level of college sports. Figured I'd give you all 9 division programs with that Wildcat nickname. Kentucky, Villanova, Arizona, Northwestern, Kansas State, Bethune-Cookman, Weber State, New Hampshire, and Davidson. So 9 teams on that next level with the nickname Wildcat. How about that for Wild, guys?
Kerry, I think Keith's got a little too much free time on his hands. On the face-off, first face-off win for Skaneatles, but it's checked out of his stick, and Shoreham looks to run. Shots in that first quarter, 13-2. Shoreham Wading River dominating the ground balls, 9-4.
But you know what was most important? Not just the fact that they were dominating on the ground balls and on the shots, but they had the ball. And I think if you understand that if you were in possession of the ball, the other team isn't going to score on you, and that's going to be very critical. That's been their objective all along through these playoffs, is possession.
So we'll watch Pat Reelman working one-on-one against Kevin Unterstein. Reelman looking for some space, spin move. Here comes Ferrara with the help. Good feed across. Doctor with the shot. That goes wide. Nice job by Reelman finding Doctor when Ferrara slid on the double.
Yep, Ferrara came over on the double to help out Unterstein, who was the short stick on Reelman, and that opened up the shot for Vince Doctor, and he had a good look at the cage. He should have, I think, been able to make DeMarco come up with a little bit of a save.
Pittard, the all-time leading scorer in points in Skaneatles history. Beats it out up top. Chris Doctor over to Reelman, looking down low. The offense now getting involved as they finally get the touch as the player goes down. That's Haswell slipping on the turf. Gleason rakes the way with the long pole, and it comes up into the stick of Ferrara, but he loses it, and now it goes back over to Reelman. Reelman forced out of bounds by Ferrara, and the turnover goes over to Shoreham Wading River.
Both teams playing very aggressive. Let's look at the check. You watch it over here on the side, and I think it's going to be Liam Gleason coming into your picture right there. And you look how aggressive he's playing. He gets that stick. You know, and again, the Lakers were looking for maybe a hold or something, but, you know, quite honestly, I thought that was a very good call by the official. Gleason really had his stick matched up on the stick very, very well. It was clean all the way.
Danellen to Ferrara. Now they go back behind the cage. Shaknowski. What a playoff run this kid's had.
And only a sophomore, but as you know, as I look at this game now, as we are closing in on the end of the school year, he's no longer a sophomore. He's a junior with a lot of experience.
Cervani, kind of a weak shot right on, and Clark able to come up with it with the bounce pass on the clear. He gets it up to John Fairhurst. Fairhurst carries into the offensive zone. Gives it up to the short stick of Chris Doctor. Doctor the junior looking to take it strong. Pulls off. Waits for his teammates to regroup. Doctor with the hardest shot on the team. Hasn't had the opportunity to let one go today. The double comes over, forcing the pass in the middle, and it's scooped up neatly by Liam Cervani.
Liam Gleason coming off the crease to double up on Doctor. Forces an errant pass.
So Cervani now on the offense. To Shaknowski. See if they go back behind the net, and they do, to Chris Unterstein. To Mark Warner. Man-to-man defense being played right now by Skaneatles. Unterstein thought his teammate was to his side. Nobody there, now reverses the other way.
Well, they're in a 2-2. The Wildcats looking to set up their offense. And again, look how nicely wide and spread out they are, forcing the defense to come out and play them a little bit and spread them out.
Interesting, Carey. You know, Shoreham Wading River took that ball from behind the cage. Nothing was there. They were 25 yards back out before they started their offensive set. Ferrara on the run. That shot might have hit the shaft of the stick of Clark and goes over the net.
Ferrara, the shooter, number 6.
But again, if you take a look at it, it was a nice bounce shot by Ferrara. There it is. And again, look at the nice save by Eddie Clark. That was real important, I think, for him to get that save and not go down 3 goals.
Fourth save of the afternoon. Defender slips, Steve Babels. Cervini gives it out. 14-3. If you don't shoot the ball, if you don't have the ball carrier, as you said, in possession, can't get the shots, can't score. And Shoreham Wading River very patient.
Showing a lot of patience. They're playing a 1-2-3 now. They were playing the 2-2, come out of it.
Cook gets a double. Cross feed to Unterstein. The bounce shot goes just wide.
Nice shot by Unterstein. Again, nice bounce shot. Put that one a little bit on the stick side, so it made it a little bit easier for Eddie Clark. Watch again from Unterstein. Here you are. Look at all the room he has. And not quite able to find the back of the net, but he had a lot of room. And if you're Shoreham, you want to see that shot again for Chris.
Cook coming strong to the net. That shot goes wide. Kerry, playing on this turf, Shoreham having been here twice this week previously, playing some obviously very important games on this turf, has a little bit of a feel. Meanwhile, Skaneatles, they've played their games on the turf up at Coinfield, but that stadium, the turf there is about 6 years old, so it might have to be a little bit softer. Not that the players here are really going to know the dead spots or the hot spots on the field for the bounce shots, but Shoreham might have just a slight advantage in that.
Well, that's very possible, Hal. The only thing that I know the difference between this field and the Coin field, as was pointed out, is that this has a bigger crown on it. So if you make a mistake on the pass, there's every likelihood the ball is going to roll out of bounds much quicker than it would up at Coin.
And, of course, people not knowing what the crown is helps in the drainage here at the stadium. And I'll tell you what, Terry, the A game that was canceled the other night on Thursday, Shenandoah, who was supposed to take on Northport, and the lightning and the rain that was here. Boy, this field really looks good, even though it was only about 38 hours ago.
This field is dry as well. There are no wet spots whatsoever. There should not be any slippage because of a wet field.
Now, we've seen a couple of players go down as Shoreham Wading River dominating face-offs, ground balls, shots, and most importantly, the score, 2-0. Reelman tries to get a step. That shot off the right leg of the goalkeeper as DeMarco took that shot right on the leg.
And also, number 7 for Shoreham, Kevin Unterstein. Watch him come into your picture to help double up on the ball. But here's the shot. Reelman puts it into his left hand, and it hits Matt DeMarco's leg and ricochets off and goes out of bounds. But again, the Lakers maintain possession and have another opportunity to go at the cage.
And that was their best opportunity of the game. DeVoe with a bounce shot that goes wide. Pittard is back.
DeVoe had the short stick on him. Number 5, that was the brother, Mike Unterstein. And as soon as DeVoe saw the short stick, he's going to the cage.
They go behind the net. This is Derek Haswell with 30 goals on the year. Gleason pounding him with the stick, giving him no room. Gleason tries forcing him. Pass across for Pittard. That will not connect, and it'll go out of bounds. Kerry, it looked like that pass was forced just a little bit.
Absolutely. I was going to say, he's trying to get that ball into Pittard's stick. I can appreciate that they wanted to see Pittard withholding the ball, getting the ball, but you can't force it if it isn't there.
So Reelman will go to work again against Von Voigt. Having a little bit of a tough time on the turf. Raked away neatly by the defense, and it's scooped up by Kevin Unterstein.
A lot of room in front of Kevin to get it down into the attack.
Now to Shaknowski. Cervini comes on. Ferrara comes on. Shaknowski looks to go strong to the cage. Again, back up top to Cook.
Now you see Cook has the short stick on him. That's Joe DeVoe who's picking him up. Now Cook will go behind the cage. He'll invert.
And Cook will set up Carey, as you say, with the short stick on him. Cook looks to go strong to the net. Has assisted on both goals today. The pass across, that one just behind the cutter. And it'll go out of bounds. Mark Warner, who scored the first goal of the game, was the intended receiver.
And Warner went down trying to stop short on the turf. Lost his footing. And that helped cause this turnover, as we'll get a timeout taken by the Lakers. With 5:45 to go in the second period, they've got to get their offense on track right now. They've got to try and see if they can get something up on the board. You know, with all the possession right now, with all the ground balls, with all the shots being taken by Shoreham, one goal by Skaneatles, and it's a one-goal game.
Right back in.
And they're right in this game. So not that they're not in it right now with just 2 goals, because I don't like a 2-goal lead. You know, 2 goals isn't here and it's not there yet. You haven't put them away, and you still are keeping them in the game.
Skaneatles, located in upstate New York, around the Skaneatles Lake, America's second cleanest lake. Also one of the Finger Lakes. District about 18 miles southwest of Syracuse, 6 miles east of Auburn. As you take a look at the shots on goal, 17-5. Skaneatles, the word in such the game of lacrosse being such an Indian game, Skaneatles, an Iroquois word meaning long lake, and it's just that, a 16-mile stretch. As they say, one of the cleanest lakes in America. And you know, Keith gave us the report on wildcats the other day. I didn't know what a tuska was. The definition of laker, one that is connected with a lake or lakes, as in habitation. So that is why they are called the Lakers on Skaneatles Lake. I now feel like I've done my homework. I get a passing grade.
You did an excellent job. Now, I'm thinking, why is Los Angeles a Laker?
We're not doing that game, Carey. Let's get back to this one. Clark being forced out of the cage. Ball loose. Unterstein comes up with it. Nobody in the net. Here comes Chris Unterstein. The shot, he scores!
And he's not going to miss that open net. Big mistake right there by the defense. Great effort on the ride by Shoreham, causing the turnover. Eddie Clark, who likes to come out of his cage, got caught. And let's catch it again on the replay. See if we can find the opportunity for the Wildcats. And there's the ball on the ground. Unterstein coming up with that loose ball. Name of the game, loose balls, ground balls. That's the ground ball war. Unterstein finding that loose ball, going right to the hoop, and he has the open goal.
Now it's a face-off win for Kevin Austin. Scooping it up for Skaneatles, who trails 3-0. Well, Clark has come out of the net several times today on the clears. This time he gets burned. Gleason with the ground ball. Up to midfield. Hello. Big hit there. As knocked down was Gonzella for Shoreham Wading River. They rake it back to the goalkeeper. Clark again quickly turns it into transition as John Lynch carries across midfield. Lynch to Haswell. Gleason with the check, but a flag goes down. Skaneatles will go man up on the whistle. Gleason will go off. So Liam Gleason will head off.
He should get called. There should be a 30-second hold.
Now let's take a look at the call on the 6'4", 230-pound.
Right there, he tries to go around with that wrap check, gets the free arm caught, and he gets the 30-second hold penalty. So now an opportunity. Here's an excellent opportunity for Skaneatles to get back a goal. They are extra man for 30 seconds. They have been shooting at an incredible rate of 60% on the extra man. The other night against Penyan, they were 1 for 3 and didn't have many opportunities.
Nice pass work here. Shot in front, knocked down by DeMarco as Pittard is stopped.
Pittard with the left hand coming around the cage. Put it right at the feet of DeMarco.
Pittard lost his stick. And Patty Lynch on defense, number 13 for Shoreham, comes up with it. And a timeout taken by Tom Rotans. You get 2, and he takes his first here in the first half, leading 3-0, trying to kill off the man down. Smartly, they got possession, call timeout.
And we'll take a look once again at that last save. It'll be Pittard that'll have the opportunity. Here they are, extra man. Now here's Pittard, number 5, coming in your picture, takes that shot. I think he took it a little bit too soft on that, and I think he could have made it a little bit more challenging for DeMarco. That was not a hard shot for DeMarco.
Let's check in downstairs with Keith Irizarry.
Hey guys, out of that last timeout, when Coach Rotans brought his team in, he said, let's run, let's get some more scores. 2 goals is not comfortable. They go out and they get 1 more goal. Oh, and Carrie, just a side note for you, the Los Angeles Lakers are the Lakers because they once were in Minneapolis. Back to you.
Ah, very good, Keith.
Wow. You know, we didn't think about that. That's terrible. Wow.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Now there's a look at DeMarco. Boy, I'll tell you, talking to him before the game, they're leading 11-10 against Somers. Somers has a chance to tie it up in the final 15 seconds. I said, were you nervous? Just looked at me, goes, I just had to stop the ball. I just thought about winning. That's it, plain and simple. Very poised
That's
in the
the name
cage.
of the game.
Warner picks up the ground ball. And there by number 10, Sean Byrne, the sophomore. Double comes over. Teams are all even up. Both teams 0 for 1, man up. Chris Cook. Cook has some room. Cook to the cage. The shot. That goes wide. Cook been very aggressive in this first half, actually. Assisted on both goals in the first
What
quarter.
happened there very simply that you had Skaneatles was extra man, so that's why they were trying to double up on the ball, but the penalty expired. Cook came over. No one was there to pick him up, and that's why he had a clear lane to the hoop.
On the ground ball. Bone gets it back to the goalkeeper, Clark. See if Clark can do a better job on this clear. Pass into the offensive zone to Pat Reelman. Reelman only a junior. Creative player, has 9 goals, 3 assists in the playoffs. 41 goals on the year. Reelman, a senior, I correct myself. And the senior now matched up against Cook. Cook with some solid defense. Savini comes over. Savini with the double. Forces him to give it up. Joe DeVoe looking in the middle for Doctor. That pass deflected. And it'll go out of bounds. Who was it deflected off last? Skaneatles ball over to Shoreham Wading River. So Shoreham, who beat Cold Spring Harbor 12-8 to capture their first Long Island championship, then followed that up with the exciting 11-10 win over Somers to capture their first downstate title. Leading 3-0 with 3:09 to go, first half. New York State Class C championship game. Last year, Penn Yan was the state champs. They got knocked off in the semis by the Skaneatles team, 7-5. Pass too high, picked off. Glenn Worley. He gets pushed from behind by Unterstein. And the ball, I believe, was still in the stick. The stick was on the ground. Unterstein tried just flipping over the stick.
This is going to be a big penalty. This is going to be a 1 minute. I think they're going to get Unterstein on a trip, which will be a 1 minute penalty. So now you'll see another opportunity for Skaneatles. They'll have a 1 minute opportunity. They did not score on the first 30-second penalty they had. So it'll be a full 1 minute penalty right now, as we'll see it on the replay. And there you saw the trip by Unterstein.
Well, that's a tough call. I think actually it looked to me that Glenn Morley's feet got tangled up, and actually he was the one who almost tripped Unterstein. But regardless, Skaneatles goes man up. You need a goal to get back in this one. They trail by 3. And on that ground ball, Rick Hancock, who plays on the man down for Shoreham, able to come up with it. And now they get it into the offensive zone, and Warner looks to kill time as he battles John Lynch. Warner will just look to kill off some time as Chris Unterstein in the box.
See, but now Warner does a really very smart thing. He looks to take the ball behind the cage. Oh, look
How
at
about
this!
That smart? Ferrara scores! Warner killing time. The defense all collapsed on Warner, and out of nowhere comes Tony Ferrara, and it's 4-0 Shoreham.
And we even had Clark coming out of the cage, and that's what left it open. Look at Warner. Here comes Ferrara into your picture. And there, look where Clark is. Way out of the cage. Open net opportunity. It's the second open goal out of the 4 for the Wildcats.
At 9:39.
And I was just really going to say, Warner does a great job. He gets the ball behind the cage because you're man down. You want to try and keep the ball behind your own cage so that if you lose it, at least the other team's got to go the whole length of the field. And in the meantime, look what happens. Whoa, take a look at it again. What a mistake by the man-up team. Look at the open opportunity. No one around. Where are the Lakers?
Everybody collapsed as Warner went into the corner. In a situation like that, you're man up. The opportunity there is to double up, try to take it away when the team that's down a man has the ball. And all of the defense just moved over to the far side. Look at the turnovers. So important. 15 turnovers, but 2 of them have proven costly. That one there, and Cook getting out of the cage earlier, and Unterstein able to pick it up.
How 2 of them very, very costly. But turnovers have been so important. You know, I was talking as we were talking to Coach Rotans before the game. Turnovers, he said, that's the one statistic I hope they win, and they're winning it tonight. Skaneatles 15 turnovers to 9 for the Wildcats.
Ron Doctor using his second and final timeout of the half after that man-down goal. Unterstein still in the box. That's one of those real deflating goals, too. Skaneatles got their offense going just a little bit in this second quarter. Really hasn't dominated play at all in the quarter for more than maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Now, keep in mind now, we still have the extra man situation for Skaneatles. They are still extra.
Doctor and Gonzella on the face-off. key face-off. That'll lead up some time as the ball on the turf finally scooped up by Doctor. Vince Doctor with 17 goals gives it up to his brother Chris, number 7. Unterstein still in the box. They bring in some changes. Steve Babels, the sophomore. 22 Perlman, the senior, now come on to the attack. This is Babels. They work it around. Shot and a goal! Chris Doctor. And it's 4-1. Man of goal. Doctor with the shot. Looked like DeMarco got a piece of it, but it's now 4-1.
Well, that was a real important goal for the Lakers. They had to try and do something to stem the tide. And here you see the replay. Look at the underhand shot by Chris Doctor. And again, we'll take it another look from behind the cage. Look at all the room that Chris Doctor will have here. He winds up, keeps it low on Matt DeMarco, and they get their first goal of the game, trailing now with only 1:52 to go in the half. Keep in mind, Shoreham has almost shut out the Lakers for most all of this first half.
Doctor's 7th goal of the playoffs, 42nd of the season. Now cuts it to a 3-goal lead and gets the crowd for Skaneatles that's come down from upstate New York, about 60 strong at least. Ran into a couple of them in the parking lot. 17 rooms taken at the Marriott across the street. So a good contingent of fans has come down from Skaneatles. Chris Doctor working one-on-one, getting forced wide by Guapone. Doctor, underhand shot to DeMarco with a big save with 1:12 to go.
Nice save by DeMarco, got his stick to the off-stick side, and here's the key. Ground ball not being able to be handled by Tony Ferreira.
So they will start up behind the cage with 1:05 to go.
1 minute remaining in the first game.
Aswell tries coming out from behind the net, looking for a feed, deflected, picked up by Doctor, goes to Vince Doctor. 50 seconds to go. Boy, Skaneatles would love to go into the half down by 2. This would be a big possession here as they try to get back on the board with 2 goals in the final 2 minutes. They've got to keep it in the box now. This is DeVoe, number 8. Feed across, that goes wide.
And DeVoe had a nice opportunity. They found him down low and in tight. Just not able to finish that shot, but he had a good look at the cage.
And now a timeout taken by Tom Rotans on defense. Skaneatles in the final 2 minutes putting on a little bit of an offensive display, what we expected from this club. A very balanced team. And Kerry, one of the things about this team is their experience. 15 players on the 25 on the roster. 60% are seniors. They've kind of grown together. It's a tight-knit community. As we said, the players play together all the time. They know the tendencies of each other. He's really just enjoyed the run.
Absolutely, and that is a senior-laden team, not only the total team, but look at the starting team. 9 out of the 10 players are seniors on the starting 10, so they are an experienced team, well-balanced also between their attack players, all very potent scorers, their defense. They have a lot of very good balance. You know, but I think who has not been a factor in this game up to this point has been Reelman. I think that Shoreham Wading River is doing an excellent job on keeping him off the ball.
Well, Matt DeMarco really not tested in the first, gives up a goal here in the second, comes up with a big save here.
Look at the little spin move. There's another shot taken by Chris Doctor. There's a save by DeMarco. That was a key save. If they get back within 2 going into the half, they have an emotional lift.
DeMarco, the amount of saves matches the jersey number 4 in this first half. 34 seconds to go. Pat Reelman, the senior, creative player, will look to create from behind the cage as he will be marked by John Donnellan. Everybody talking, watch the crease. You can hear the coaches talking to their team. Reelman gets pushed to the ground. Donnellan trying to stick it away. Still on him tightly. Has to force behind. The pass in front. That shot might have been saved by DeMarco, or it hit the post.
Oh, what a great opportunity for the Lakers. They really had a good look at the cage. They could have brought themselves in tight.
Final 10 seconds. Chris Doctor with it. Doctor, watched by Guapone, goes across to Pittard. He'll work one-on-one against Gleason. Pittard looks at the clock. Pittard looking in front. Ball knocked away. And that's going to do it for the first 24 minutes in this New York State Class C championship.
Kevin Unterstein came out and tried to double up on Pittard, and that's what really helped deflect that shot.
So in the first, it was Werner and Chris Unterstein. Shoreham Wading River with the 2-0 lead. They made it 3-0 as Chris Unterstein scores on the turnover on the ride. Ferrara makes it 4-0. Shoreham-Wading River man down. And then Chris Doctor with his 42nd of the year man up at 10:08 of the second. Cuts it to a 4-1 lead, and that's where we are here at the half. Keith Irizarry's downstairs with the coach of Skaneatles, Ron Doctor.
Here with Ron Doctor. Coach, first off, you mentioned your team was possibly a little emotional coming in this game, possibly having some nerves. Were they nervous early on, and how do you rectify that?
I think we made some judgment errors, some stick errors, and I think we're capable of playing better. We just have to we got to settle down. Maybe the adrenaline's out, maybe the extra energy is gone. We got to find out in the second half.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
He trails 4-1 right now. We go back up to Halsass.
Well, Skaneatles with only 2 losses on the year, losses to West Jenny and Auburn by the score of 8-5. They're going to have to come back here in the second half as they trail 4-1. New York State Class C Championship, Shoreham-Wading River in front.
Adelph, I never feel lost in the crowd.
Get ready to have some fun. Neighborhood Journal gives you a backstage pass to all the action in your area, from community events to festivals to what's happening.
Hi, I'm Kathy Pelock, host of Neighborhood Journal. Join me each week as I take you to places to see and things to do right here on Long Island. Remember, it all begins in your own hometown on Neighborhood Journal.
Only on Cablevision local programming, TV that's close to home.
Two teams making their first appearance in the New York State Finals. We are halfway home in Suffolk County Shoreham-Wading River with a 4-1 lead over Skaneatles at the half. Welcome back, everybody. Jimmy Cavallo along with Carrie Gluck. And Carrie Gluck, when you look at this first half and 24 minutes of lacrosse, for the first 21 minutes, Shoreham-Wading River in total control, builds a 4-goal lead. But in that last 3 minutes, I think we saw the real Lakers of Skaneatles, but still only to push across one.
Well, for the first time, they were really able to get their offense into a set offense, and that last 3 or 4 minutes really was able to help their momentum going into the half.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers from the first half of play in this boys Class C final. And Carrie, the thing that jumps out when you look at the numbers, shots and ground balls, Shoreham-Wading River leads in both those categories.
Well, those are very key and very critical categories. There's no doubt about that one, Jimmy, and that is the name of the game. You got to have turnovers and create the turnovers. You've got to have the ground balls, and you got to win faceoffs, and then you'll get your shots. And that's exactly what the Wildcats have been doing. They've been winning every one of those categories.
Coach Doctor came into this boys Class C final with his first appearance. He thought nerves might be one of the issues they might have been. Skaneatles gets down 4-0. They looked like they were going to go into the locker room down 4-0, but then the coach's son, Chris Doctor, breaks through just about 3 minutes to go in the half.
Well, that was a big goal for the Lakers, but you know what, Jimmy? They had a lot of room on that opportunity for Chris Doctor. He had a good look at the cage. He took a nice shot, and he was able to capitalize on the mistake on the defensive end. The Wildcats have not made many mistakes defensively. That was one of them, giving too much room to Chris Doctor.
Yeah, it took 22 minutes, but Chris Doctor cranks one low. On the other side, Shoreham-Wading River. What a first half for the other Chris. Chris Unterstein, 2 goals in the first half, and here's one of them.
Well, Chris has had a great first half, considering they've only scored 4 goals. He's been in the 2-goal category. He had a great look at the cage, open goal opportunity for his second goal. That one really, I think, was a real emotional breakdown for the Lakers.
Carrie Gluck, this is a low-scoring game, kind of a nip and tuck. Took 7 minutes to score our first goal in this game, but in these low-scoring games where goals are going to be a premium, you need your keeper to step up. Matt DeMarco wasn't called upon a lot, but he made a couple key saves along the way.
Hey, when you have to step up, and that's when the good ones do, Jimmy, that's exactly what Matt DeMarco is doing. He stepped up real big in that first half, but he's done that all along. Coach Rotans, Coach Delia, they've been saying that the kid DeMarco has stepped up in the big games throughout the season. So no surprise to me, Matt DeMarco is doing the job right now for the Wildcats.
All right, Carrie Gluck, you know you don't have to be a psychic to know what was said in the locker rooms at halftime. Both these head coaches looked their teams in the eye and said, there's 2 quarters left in the season, boys. Leave it all on the field. 24 minutes to go in the boys Class C state final. We will step aside from Hofstra. Third quarter is straight ahead. This, my friends, is Cablevision Sports.
Hello, I am the SLA 3000. I function as CEO of Compudom. Back in the year 2001, Compudom installed LightPath's voice, data, and internet services, enabling me to evolve. Today, with the help of LightPath's fiber optic communications network, Compudom is able to dominate the market. Ha ha. Thanks, LightPath.
Two heroes.
I always get a happy, tingly feeling when I see those guys.
One heroic night.
It's the way to meet girls. Yeah, whatever.
Brand new seasons of Farscape and Stargate SG-1. Sci-Fi Friday, beginning June 7th, only on Sci-Fi Channel.
Don't miss a brand new season of Farscape and Stargate SG-1 beginning June 7th. Sci-Fi Fridays. Watch it on Cablevision.
Third quarter about to get underway. Big face-off here. Vince Doctor and John Gonzella for Shoreham Wading River. We are underway. 24 more minutes to determine a New York State Class C champ. Ball on the ground, scooped up now by Skaneatles. And it's finally Joe Bone, an all-league player, coming up with the ground ball for Skaneatles. A little bit of jump right away in the steps of Skaneatles as they look to go towards the net. Chris Doctor, number 7. Feeds it long past Pat Reelman, just coming off, bounces it, and it goes over. The senior will be heading to Geneseo. Goes over to the sidelines, banging his stick. You look at Doctor, not happy with the way that pass went. And now Chris Cook will start it up. 27 seconds in, third quarter. Ferrara will pick it up off the turf. Ferrara with a goal in that second quarter. And back to Cook. There's a change in the scoring. Chris Cook with an assist on the first goal. Mark Warner now credited with an assist on Unterstein's first goal. So Cook now with 1 assist. Warner with a goal and 2 assists. Chris Unterstein met behind the cage by the sophomore Sean Byrne. Had a knee injury earlier this year. Now it's over to Ferrara. Ferrara worked one-on-one. He's got the short stick against him, but a nice play by Joe DeVoe, and the senior causes the turnover. Gary, you look right away in this second half. It looks like Skaneatles came out a little bit more fire, a little bit more aggressive in the early going.
Well, they got to come up pumped up now. This is the last 24 minutes, and as we said just a few moments ago, you got to leave it on the field. This is it. There's no tomorrow.
Warner has it forced away. Loose ball, it'll be scooped up by Skaneatles. Number 13, Glenn Morley, a hard-nosed player, the best hitter on this team, an all-league player, also heading to SUNY G. Chris Doctor going behind the cage, being forced by Guapone. Tries laying some stick into him. Nice pass up top. Doctor the shot. That one blocked in front.
Now, Doctor had an excellent good look at the cage. The unfortunate part, there was no slide by the Shoreham Wading River Wildcats. We saw Unterstein slide over to double up earlier, and there was no second slide to pick up Doctor.
Ground ball picked up by Reelman. Reelman, who comes off a 5-goal performance, is shoved behind the net by Liam Gleason. Now the Skaneatles offense will set up. They go far side. Ferrara with the short stick. He will spot number 20, Derek Haswell. Haswell, known as a Dodger, slips on the turf. That's twice today that Haswell has gone down, one time at each end. So I don't know what kind of shoes they might be wearing, but Haswell definitely having a problem. Up to Doctor. Look at the defense by Shoreham. Keeping them outside, back to Reelman, and he'll step back as he'll be watched by Gleason. Reelman looks to shift hands, has it checked away neatly, and now the loose ball is scooped up on the run. Here comes Matt Fratello for Shoreham, leading the rush to Warner. Far side looking for Unterstein, but it's knocked away and scooped up neatly by Glenn Morley. Opportunity in transition there for Shoreham, but they can't get the shot on the net. Doctor forced to the sidelines. Ball scooped and raked now by Ferrara into the offensive zone to Warner.
Gee, that was a real smart play by Tony Ferrara. He just almost golfed it to his partner. That was a nice putt, I'd say, but it was a very effective, very smart, because he saw 2 white shirts standing open.
Liam Cervini Over to Cook. Cook looks back at the coaching staff for direction. See if they run a set play here. 8:23 to go, third quarter. 4-1 the score. That's what it was at the half. It was 2-0 Shoreham after one. 4-1 at the half. That's where we are right now. Skaneatles heads back behind the cage as the play is up top. As that pass from Unterstein misses Cervini. And able to retrieve it is Chris Cook.
He gave good backup to Liam Cervini. Unterstein's pass not quite on the mark, and the backup was so important.
Cook to the net, he scores! Carrying it in his right hand, shifting it to the left, fires it over the shoulder of Clark, and it's 5-1 Shoreham.
That goal starts at the midfield, Hal, when he comes up with that ground ball and saves the possession. But you'll catch it on the end of that replay. Watch Chris Cook. Here he is coming at the cage with his left hand. Does an excellent job taking a very well-placed shot, giving the Wildcats that 4-goal lead once again. Here you see it again on the replay. Left hand. He's got a hard left-hand shot. He's all county. He does everything for all the others. He's like having an assistant coach on the field, according to Coach Dealey and Rotans. And he earned that one, I think, because he came up with an important ground ball on the miscue earlier.
Got away from the check of Chris Doctor, and Shoreham again with a face-off win. Dominating the face-off. Here comes Skaneatles. He's been quiet in today's game. Over to Cook. Being watched by Kevin Gunderson, a senior.
And again, Cook being able to take advantage of having the short stick on him, inverts, goes behind the cage, and they'll look to set up from the backside and work the short stick.
Cook on the feed. Unterstein the shot that goes wide. Quickly downstairs to Keith Irizarry.
Hey guys, I spoke to Tom Rotans at half. He said he liked the control his offense had. He wanted to talk to his kids and tell them to stay patient. He knew that the opposing team would come out on fire. They'd be fired up a little bit. Said the way to eliminate that would be to win faceoffs, and they've done just that. They've scored another goal as well. Also asked him if he was nervous at all still. He mentioned he was nervous before the game. He said, yeah, I'll be nervous until the game's over. Back to you.
Once you're on that field, usually your instincts take over. But, hey, listen, this guy's had a run that nobody ever really expected. Pass in front. Unterstein, that shot bounces wide. Cook able to come up with it. Double comes over, knocked out of Cook's stick, but he regains.
Unterstein had a great dodge, to get that shot off.
Warner with the pass, and he just misses Unterstein.
Warner saw him, Unterstein saw him, and the pass just was wide of Chris Unterstein. But Warner certainly found the open man.
Well, you talk about Tom Rotans on the sidelines and being nervous and stuff. You know, he played 25 years ago in the first state championship game, playing for Ward Melville, defeated by Elmont 12-11 in the championship. Of course, Joe Kuzo, the coach of that team, the all-time leading wins man in New York State coaching history. 25 years ago, they're playing in that game. He's had a knot in his stomach ever since Rich Wilkins had a shot that went over the net on a deflection. On a chance to tie up that game. Unterstein turns, he scores! Oh! Second time today, Unterstein able to find a loose ball as Clark is out of the cage, and he puts it home for a 6-1 lead.
That Shoreham goal comes off the miss clear by the Lakers, and there's that ground ball. Now watch Unterstein, he just comes up with it and lets it go. He knows he has the wherewithal to know that Clark is out of the goal, and it's an open net opportunity for the Wildcats. And again, Unterstein has a great deal of poise in the situation to be able to have his head up, find the open cage, and all he had to do was direct the ball in the right direction.
What a beautiful face-off win there. Gonzella raking that ball back to Kevin Unterstein. What a pretty face-off win. Gonzella on his game today after struggling Thursday against Somers.
That's the third open goal opportunity for the Wildcats out of the 6 goals they have. Now that means that they really have scored 3 goals maybe on the 6-on-6, which is a nice job by the Laker defense. They're making the mistakes on the clears that have given the Wildcats this game at the moment that 5-goal lead.
Well, Skaneatles is going to have to do something offensively. Because as you say, Kerry, you know, you've only given up 3 goals, 6-on-6 rather.
Oh, mental mistake for Skaneatles. They cannot afford to make those mistakes at this point in the game. You got to get rid of those emotional mistakes, those mental mistakes, offsides. They kill you.
Kevin Unterstein to the brother. Back to Skaneatles. Shagnowski gets the pick from Warner. Looking in front, finds Unterstein. The shot goes wide.
Chris Unterstein never misses that. The All-American should have put that one away, and I know he's upset with himself. Look at this on the replay. How wide open is a great feed coming from, I believe that was from Shagnowski, and Unterstein had a great look at the cage and was not able to finish it up.
Warner will give it up to Cook. Again, inverting with the short stick. Gunderson will mark him. Ferrara fakes the pick. Cook doesn't use it. Now goes in the middle of Unterstein. Unterstein, far side Warner. They work it around. This is Cervini. Liam Cervini being watched closely by Sean Byrne. Cervini comes around. That shot is knocked down by Clark. Shots at 28-11. There's a flag there that a call will go against Shoreham-Wading River on Clark. And it looks like it'll be Cervini heading off.
That's correct. He's going to get caught, cross-check penalty. And it'll be another opportunity. This will be a 1-minute extra man situation for Skaneatles.
So Skaneatles will go man up. As we take a look at the penalty, this one being called on Liam Cervini.
Liam just being a little over-aggressive there. Look at that. That's a good call by the official. He catches Clark in the helmet with that cross-check, and he was high on it as well. Good call by the official.
Lakers go man up, 4:36 to go. Third quarter, they trail by 5 by the score of 6-1. 1-minute penalty, so they'll be a little bit patient. Don't have to force anything. Chris Doctor directing traffic over to Steve Babbles. Now they work it over to Reelman. Reelman in front. That ball deflected away, and it comes over to Ferrara. Ferrara will look to chew up some time, racing it towards the offensive zone. Now throws it downfield. Ball deflected away. We'll see who it's off of. I believe it's off of Shoreham. It will go back to Skaneatles.
No, they're calling it off the blue stick. They cannot catch a break now on the sidelines. That ball going off of the defenseman's stick.
Remember, last time that Shoreham-Wading River was man down, they did score a goal.
That was an open goal by Unterstein, if I'm not, oh no, Ferrara. Ferrara got the feed from Warner, right, if that's correct.
Man down, that goal at 9:39 of the first half. Of the second quarter, rather, in that first half. Killing time as Cervini still in the box. The double comes over. Chris Unterstein has it taken away by John Lynch. Cervini standing up now in the box, waiting for the officials to release him. They count it down. Cervini is released. We're all even. Fratello comes on in place of Cervini with the long pole. 3:35 to go. Eric Doctor had 2 goals, 1 assist against Penn Yan in the championship game upstate. Goes behind the cage to Pittard, who's been very, very quiet today. Pittard working one-on-one against Dinellin. Dinellin checks it away. Pittard warding off. Pittard now, here comes the double. Gets it over to Doctor. Doctor in the middle. The pass for Reelman. That shot deflected, and it's taken away by Shoreham-Wading River.
Defense did a great job collapsing into the middle and been able to check the stick of Reelman as he takes that shot.
Dinellin looking for Unterstein. A loose ball, and it's scooped up by Shagnowski, who takes it behind the net against the long pole.
Again, the ground balls being won by the white shirts. The Wildcats dominating the ground balls.
Shagnowski just working his way through every player on the Skaneatles defense.
But you saw how well he protected his stick. He had the stick right in close to the body, made it very hard for the defense to check it.
So now Ferrara will take it back, slowing things down. One of the best in the county, an all-county player. Smartest player on the field. Gets it over to Cervini out of the box. The pass to Shagnowski, bottled up, now goes back to Cervini. Here comes the double, the triple, the pass in front, and it's knocked away by the defense. Loose ball, and Clark able to scoop it up. The senior goaltender.
With the breakup.
On the breakout pass, there they come. This is Steve Babbles looking to run for Skaneatles. And a nice job carried by Shoreham getting back. They've really run the field well today.
They certainly did do an excellent job. They get very quickly into the hole. They get quickly back on defensive side behind the ball.
Babbles walked himself into a triple team. And Cervini will go off again, this time for 30 seconds.
Cervini having a tough time right now with the officials. It'll be a 30-second penalty.
So 1:59 to go. 2 goals scored in this quarter by Shoreham-Wading River, Chris Cook, Chris Unterstein. Unterstein his third of the game, Cook his first. So they go man up for 30 seconds. 20 seconds remaining. They go back behind the cage. Haswell loses the ball. Donnellan will try to chase it down.
Pressure.
Ball goes out of bounds. Officials rule it will stay in the hands of Skaneatles. 14 seconds on the man-up advantage. Ron Doctor, 20th year head coach, started this program. The only coach in Skaneatles Laker lacrosse history.
Lakers running a 2-2 extra man.
Down to 2 seconds, 1 second. Teams are all even. The pass in front, that's it, they score! As the penalty expired, down low it was Vince Doctor, his first of the game, and Doctor's 18th of the year cuts it to 6-2.
Well, that was a big goal again for the Lakers. They found Vince Doctor. He was down on the crease. Remember, they are extra man. The defense wasn't just able to get over in time. And, of course, the ball goes quicker than you can run, and they were able to connect. The Lakers finding Vince Doctor. They redirect the ball back to the weak side, and there he was sitting on the doorstep. 6-2 now. The Wildcats lead with coming up on a minute 20 seconds to go in this third period.
So a big goal there. Doctor from Haswell. Doctor's 18th of the year. And again, when Skaneatles scored the first time, it gave him some momentum. And now let's see, it looks like Shoreham wants to take it right back. Ferrara, back to Warner. Ferrara, the score! Well, so much for the momentum for Skaneatles. Shoreham Wading River comes and strikes right back as they score just 25 seconds later.
Ferrara and Warner on the little give and go, playing off each other very well. They caught that defenseman right in the middle. And here it is on the replay. There's Warner giving it back to Ferrara. Nice open look at the cage. Not a lot of pressure. When these guys have that much time and space, they're going to be able to connect and take that shot right on cage. And that's exactly what Tony Ferrara, the all-county midfielder, who does a great job on the ground balls for the Wildcats. He's been tough. He's a 4-year starter. He knows what it's like to have to put it in the goal under pressure.
And a deflating goal for Skaneatles. They get the goal to cut it to 4. Would have liked to have possession, maybe get one more on the board, cut it to 3 heading into the 4th. But that goal there by Ferrara, his second of the game. And now it's a 5-goal advantage for the Wildcats.
Nice check by Gonzella. Does a great job being able to dislodge that ball off the check. You heard that little click right up here.
And Mark Warner having a superb game. 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points, leading the Wildcats, who have the ball with 43 seconds to go. Liam Gleason ahead to Cook. Cook.
Now on this clear, the Wildcats brought their midfielders way down low. Prior to that, they've been up at the midfield area. They brought them now really 10 yards inside midfield to help out on this clear.
Able to get it across. Warner, pass a little bit high. Man was open in front for a second. Chaknowski could not contain the pass, and it's taken over by Pat Reelman. Reelman across midfield. Final 10 seconds to go here in the third. We'll see if he tries taking it to the cage. Reelman shaking, baking, nothing there. As the only oven that he's seeing is the defense of Shoreham Wading River, and unable to get to the net to even get a shot off as we end the third quarter.
That was an excellent quarter for the Wildcats.
Shoreham Wading River with 3 goals. Skaneatles with 1 there in the third. We head to the final 12 minutes. Shoreham Wading River leading 7-2, 12 minutes away from a New York State championship.
Adelphi have a life on and off campus.
For an in-depth look at the people that help shape our neighborhoods, tune into Cablevision's Meet the Leaders. As we sit down one-on-one with our community leaders, we'll address the issues that are most important to you and your community.
Hi, I'm June Markley, host of Meet the Leaders. Join me each week as I sit down with our community officials and discuss important issues about your town.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
We head to the fourth. Skaneatles Lakers from Section 3 in upstate New York. Shoreham-Wading River, the Wildcats out of Section 11, Suffolk County. And it's Suffolk County right now with the advantage 7-2 as we head to the final 12 minutes of lacrosse action here on Cablevision Sports. Hal Sass, Kerry Gluck. Hope you're enjoying the action as Cablevision Sports brings you all the excitement of New York State Championship lacrosse. We check in with Keith Irizarry.
Hal, you guys were talking about how well Gonzalo was doing on the face-offs for Shoreham-Wading River. Well, you know what? They brought in someone to help him out. Last week and this week, Pete Vlahakis, a former face-off specialist here at Shoreham-Wading River, graduated in 2000. Now he's at Fairfield, has came out and been helping the Wildcat face-off guys, most notably Gonzalo. The Vlahakis family also has another Vlahakis at West Point, so it's all in the family for Shoreham-Wading River. Back up to you.
Well, you got to love the fact that with Skaneatles winning, trailing on the face-offs, doing a nice job, 8-5 Gonzalo, who, you know, it's hard to figure, Kerry. He did so well against Pizer, but then struggled the other day against Rabidou for Somers. And then today he came out, even though it's 8-5 on the face-offs, he really dominated early, and that did set the tone for Shoreham.
It certainly did. I think the whole first quarter set the tone for Shoreham when they really possessed the ball, and they established the fact that possession was going to be so important to them.
Joe Bone, able to come up with it with the long stick, able to get it to Pitter. Pitter's been quiet. See if he can get things going here in the fourth. Check from behind by Dinellen. Pitter losing his stick. The ball goes over to Ferrara, who gives it up to Gleason, and Shoreham looks to start out. Up to Cervini. He gets hit hard by Chris Doctor. Cervini never saw it coming. Turnover forced by Skaneatles, and they now have the ball. Pittard with only one shot, Kerry, in today's game, which is really hard to believe. He really was shut down against Penn Yan. Only had an assist in that game. But as we said, this kid takes a beating usually because everybody keys on him. He'll be heading off to Hotchkiss Prep School, in Connecticut.
Well, you know, he is their all-time leading scorer. So you know that, or he's got to know that other teams are going to really key in on him. And the fact that he has only had one shot today and one assist against Penn Yan tells you the big games, he's got to step up.
Matt Fratello with the long pole with room. The pass in front to Shaknowski, robbed by Clark.
Oh, as he stuffed, Clark put it to the Shack, and he had the opportunity. And you got to give Fratello what a great job he did legging it down and unselfishly gave it up to the Shack.
6 saves for Clark. Now they go in front. Reelman's shot is deflected off the stick of DeMarco. End-to-end action. 6 save there for DeMarco. So now it will be Pittard going behind the net against Dinellen, who has marked him feverishly in today's game. Look at Dinellen with the stick. Gets the help from Gleason. Pittard still with possession. Pittard looks in the middle, has a man in Haswell. Haswell looking for Chris Doctor. Doctor takes a step. Doctor, the underhand shot, he scores!
Chris Doctor, the same kind of shot that he scored on earlier, Hal. When he scored their second goal, he likes to come across the face of the cage with that underhanded, right-handed shot. Watch it again on the replay. See that underhand shot? That's the way he scored his second goal. He likes to keep that shot low. When you go underhand, either one of two things is going to happen. It's going to be a rising shot, and usually it'll go over the cage, or if it stays low, it's going to stay right on the ground, and usually a goalkeeper has a pretty good view and vision on that. But that one was too hard. It just went right by DeMarco after he came up with a real big save just a few moments earlier, which might have helped stem some momentum. But at this point, Doctor's goal gets that momentum back.
Vince Doctor on the face-off at about 60% for Skaneatles. And on the violation, the ball will go over to Skaneatles. So the school with 640 students in their high school, grades 9 to 12, 6-time sectional titles. Lost last year to Penn Yan in the semis. And you know what? The coach Ron Doctor said, last year they were happy to be there. That was kind of the attitude. But after losing to Penn Yan in the semis, being that close to play in the state championship game, they said they wanted more. They've got it. But they've got their hands full, trailing by 4 to Shoreham-Wading River. Physical play picking up. Dinellen in there. Unterstein in there. Big hit on Shaknowski. Big hit thrown. Glenn Morley, we said he was the hardest hitter on the club, laying in to Shacknowski. Listen to this bad boy downstairs.
Now, it is getting physical, ball down the ground. This is not where Shoreham wants to be. They don't want to get into a physical game. They'd rather use their sticks. I think they'd rather use their finesse because they have the advantage on that aspect of the game.
Shots in the ball game, 2-1 advantage for Shoreham, 30-15. Both goalkeepers with 6 saves. And Shoreham leading the ground ball battle by 6. Joe DeVoe working on Kevin Unterstein. DeVoe looks in front, pass for Pittard, and he's robbed there by DeMarco. And DeMarco tries covering it up, and now people in the crease, bodies go flying. Crease violation, ball to Shoreham.
Emphatically, the official saying it is the in the crease violation by Derek Haswell.
There's a big hit in the middle of the field. Cook able to come up with the ground ball. He looks to run. Chris Cook now will pull it right back out. Gives it up to his teammate. Over there, Mark Warner, the 3-year starter.
Good poise shown by Chris Cook to be able to pull that ball out. He knows what's important right now is the possession, holding on to the ball. He can't force shots that aren't there. We don't want to force passes that aren't there. We want to eat time. Every time we come down, if we can take a minute and a half off the clock, that's to their advantage. The clock may be the greatest enemy right now.
Warner comes around from behind the net, tries sliding one down the turf. Shacknowski will be there. He'll be considered the backer as they rule that a shot by Warner. And Warner having one of those good games here. 1 goal, 3 assists. Cook with a goal and an assist. Ferrara with a pair of goals. Checked out neatly by the defense, as it was number 13, Glenn Morley.
Good over the head check by Morley. And I think that was Shacknowski who hung the stick a little bit, allowing Morley to make that check.
Pat Reelman with 7:25 to go. They trail by 4. Reelman comes in. He shoots. He scores! Pat Reelman, 10th of the playoffs, 42nd of the year. And it's now a 7-4 game.
Pat Reelman, he was the real man there. He came right down the middle of the field. Now watch right here. He's going to split the defenders, and there is nobody to step over to him. He puts it up on the stick side. Okay, it was a shot, and it was just a cannon of a shot past DeMarco on the stick side.
So now another big face-off. Gonzella battling against Vince Doctor. Doctor, the team leader. Loose ball, able to be retained by Reelman. Now he loses it, but he's able to get it back. 7:11 to go, 7-4 the score.
Now we have a real important possession right now for the Lakers, if they can capitalize on this possession.
Skaneatles with the last 2 goals. Reelman tries getting the shot off, knocked away. Ferrara came up with it, but loses it to Joe DeVoe. Pittard has it go off his stick, with plenty of room to pick it up and start it over again. Met there by John Donnell, the 4-year starter. This is a good battle. He's done a great job on him all game. The pass in the middle, loose, and DeMarco comes out to get it. And DeMarco will look to run. DeMarco with an assist against Cold Spring Harbor. In the offensive zone will hustle back. Warner thinks about moving forward now, takes it back out and allows his goalkeeper to get back to the cage.
Again, very, very intelligent play by Warner to be able to do that. He knows he's not going to force it to the cage, and he knows that his goalie was out of the cage.
Liam Cervini over to Chris Cook.
Tell you, that kid DeMarco, he is exciting, isn't he, Hal? When he gets that save and he gets into the offense, he loves to run it up, and he'll get them going.
Well, like the coach said, we mentioned earlier, he will never have a heart attack. He's just very calm. We saw him go the length of the field against Cold Spring Harbor. Actually could have shot, unselfishly gave it up, picked up the assist. So Skaneatles, who scored the last 2 goals, has cut it to 3. 5:45 to go. New York State Class C Championship on the line right here. Looking to the net. Unterstein in front, reach, and he scores! Mike Unterstein!
Oh, man. Eddie Clark comes out to pick up Michael Unterstein. When Unterstein's ball is checked out of his stick, all he does is just gooses it into the cage. He doesn't even pick it up. He just gooses it into the cage. What a big goal for Michael Unterstein, the young sophomore. Watch it again on the replay. Here comes the double. That leaves Michael open, but he can't handle the pass, and he just gooses it once it's down on the ground into the cage.
Mike Unterstein, his 8th goal of the year. None bigger. At 6:22, increases the Shoreham lead to 8-4. Off the face-off. Ball is loose. Donnellan able to scoop it up. Looking across the midfield. Oh, he's hammered there by Chris Doctor. And a flag goes down. On a cross-check, 1 minute. So with 5:26 to go, trailing by 4, Skaneatles is going to have to kill it off. Let's listen downstairs. Hello.
Oh, you saw Chris Doctor just laying into the Shoreham player. And that was an excellent call, obviously, by the official, giving the extra man cross-check penalty to the Lakers, an extra man for Shoreham. Now a minute brings it down to 4:26 when they eat off, and if they eat off the full minute on the clock.
Now, Terry, just let's think back 2 days ago against Somers. There was about this much time left. Shoreham Wading River had a 4-goal lead at 10-6. They, in turn, went man down. They gave up a goal to Somers, and then Somers scored another quick one, cut it to 2. So it's only a 4-goal game, and we saw what happened the other day, although they will be able to eat off a minute of time on the clock. We'll see how aggressive they are going to the cage. Unterstein shot deflected by Bone. The rebound, they score!
Right into the stick. The rebound, the deflection goes right into the stick of Tony Ferrara. And that goal could be none bigger for the sophomore, or for the junior all-county player, sitting right on the crease area. And watch the shot.
Third of the game.
And there you see, picking it up, Ferrara. Right on the doorstep, gets that rebound, puts it away. Third goal for Tony Ferrara. He's having a heck of a championship game.
You know, Kerry, you got to think right now, Tom Rattan's knowing of the story I was just relaying about being up by 4 goals in this situation. A lot of coaches may have just decided, let's just kill off the time, but you know what? The opportunity was there. He said, guys, take it to the hole.
Well, if the opportunity presents itself, you have a good shot, you definitely want to take it. What you don't want to do is force it if it's not there.
So Chris Doctor coming back. He's got a goal in today's game. Feet across. There's a bounce shot off the post. That shot deflecting wide. Number 25, Brett Searing, the midfielder, with the shot. That was a big opportunity there, and Searing hits the pipe.
You can tell he hit it hard. It really bounced out.
And now
we see a flag again. I think this one's going to be also against the Lakers. That'll be a push. Watch it again on the replay. See if we can catch it. Oh, nice opportunity. Here it comes from the rear. There you see it. Nice call by the official. I believe that was number 16, Kevin Austin, getting called for the push.
Coach Ron Doctor cannot be pleased with 2 penalties in the last 2 minutes. Shoreham Wading River taking advantage. Scoring the man-up goal just moments ago by Ferrara.
Now they brought Clark out of the cage.
Warner has an opportunity.
They wanted to go man-to-man.
He scores! Man up, 4th of the game, and it's now 10-4, Shoreham Wading River.
Well, the Lakers, they went for it. They're down by 5. They brought Clark out of the cage. They tried to match up man-to-man, and that just was not going to happen. That was Warner. He beats his man. Now that opens up the opportunity for Ferrara. Gets his 4th goal of the game. I'll tell you, I think the Wildcats, what they are doing best today is that they are taking advantage of mistakes on defense, mistakes on clears. They're getting a lot of open cage goals. I can't believe the number of open cage goals that Shoreham has had today in this championship game.
6-on-6, they played them pretty well. But Clark coming out of the cage a couple of times, getting burned, a couple of really bad mistakes. And just like that, now it's a 10-4 game, as Eric Pittard will look to do something here.
But you know what? The real good teams like Shoreham,
Doctor's shot goes wide.
The real good teams like Shoreham, they capitalize on your mistakes. They make you pay. And that's exactly what the Wildcats have done to the Lakers today.
Well, we saw that shot by Eric Pittard. We mentioned how he's had some big games this season. Only shut out twice this year against Jordan Elbridge. Had no goals. Of course, he had 4 assists in that game in the Section C semifinal. And then the Panyan game, just an assist. So what a job by the defense. I mean, all you have to do is look at number 32, John Donnellan, and say, you have locked up on him. You have done the job. You're making other people try to beat us. And the rest of the team has stepped up as well defensively for Shoreham Wading River.
Here you see it. And right now, Donnellan on Pittard. And Donnellan winning that battle. dislodged the ball, and the Wildcats come up with the loose ball.
And now out of bounds. And the ball goes back over to Skaneatles. Well, Skaneatles, this is an interesting position for them. They've never played in the championship game. So they were a little unsure of the procedures that go into a situation like this. They've always played their games upstate, never had a chance to come down to Long Island. They didn't have a bus ordered for today's game. So yesterday on Friday, they actually took a bus down. They played Penn Yan on Thursday in the championship game. And after the game, coach started looking and said, we don't have a bus. But Penn Yan had ordered a bus. So Penn Yan said, here, you can have our coach bus. That is how they got down here to Long Island yesterday.
Well, they may be sorry they came. I'll tell you, look at the shots on goal. Shoreham has doubled the number of shots that Skaneatles has, 36-18. And it tells you the offensive power of this Shoreham team.
Well, Skaneatles, as we said, came down yesterday. They scrimmaged Shoreham Wading River back in March. Played them just a little bit. Obviously, back in March, really hard to see what the two teams were going to be at that point. Nobody knew that Shoreham Wading River would have the season they did. Skaneatles not sure that they would get through. The Penn Yans, the defending New York State Class C champs. You look who they had to go through: Corning East, Lafayette, Jordan Albridge. They really did the job. The last two games were tight. 12-10 against Corning East, 7-5 against Penn Yan. So they won the close games to get here. And today, really, Shoreham Wading River, the better team. As we'll look at number 6, Tony Ferrara, stepping up big here in this championship game with his 4th goal.
And look at Warner, very cleanly and very poised, finds Ferrara right in front of the cage. That was an extra man goal. The Lakers looking to go man-to-man on that situation.
And Warner with 4 assists in the game as Clark is out of the cage again. Clark does have an assist this year. They get it to Pittard. Pittard steps around Gleason, goes to the net, and it's checked away.
Again,
absolutely no room.
Liam Gleason did a nice job. He went for that little face dodge by Pittard, but he recovered to be able to back check.
Here comes Cook, getting hacked at by Reelman. 2:56 to go, 10-4, Shoreham Wading River. Just looking up at the clock, just wishing it would just get down to 0 right now.
Come on, Lee.
Ball knocked out of the stick of Unterstein. And now a whistle. And an offside call.
Offsides against Skaneatles. Again, they'll turn the ball back over to Shoreham. That's, those are the things that you don't want to commit, those mistakes when you're down. And that's what Skaneatles has done for a good part of this game. They have made those mental mistakes.
This is Cook. Gets away from Reelman. Cook to Shaknowski.
They want to get the ball behind the cage. And there they do.
This is Warner, where he likes to operate from. They will just look to eat up time. Swing it far side, Unterstein. Now the big guys have stepped up big for Shoreham Wading River. Unterstein will just drag it behind the net against Reelman, killing off more time. Here comes the double. Bounces it out to Cook. Cook able to scoop it up.
2 minutes remain.
Getting checked by Bone. Bone with 2 checks, looking for the feed. As Warner, but Warner's going to smartly take it behind the net. Warner being chased down by Austin. Double comes over, sends it back over to Cook. 1:45 to go.
They are doing a great job right now possessing the ball. They are spread out. They come to help each other when the double comes. Here comes to the goalie.
Clark
That's
out of
Clark.
the cage. But they probably will not take it to the goal. At this point, you're up 6, minute 30 to go.
They possess now for a minute. They have held the ball for 1 minute.
And they continue to drag it on out. They're playing corner to corner. Back up to Shaknowski to Cook. Crowd starting to get revved up here as Shoreham Wading River just 70 seconds away from their first New York State Championship. They send it out to Cook. And it's just, let's kill it down.
1 minute.
Skaneatles really just hanging their heads right now.
There's nothing that they can do. There is nothing that Skaneatles can do right now.
Down to 50 seconds. Cook over to Shaknowski. Back behind the net, Cervini sends it to Warner, and Warner holds. Down to 40 seconds. crowd on their feet. Shoreham players congratulating each other on the sideline, hopping up and down. Tom Rotan still coaching. Now he says to the crowd, come on, guys, cheer it up. We're just 25 seconds away.
I feel so good for Tommy Rotan's Mike Delia. They've worked so hard to build this program and get it at this level, and they are just so fortunate and so delighted as you look at them on the sidelines hugging each other as the clock is winding down.
Under 10 seconds. Unterstein. They're counting them down here at Hofstra. 2 seconds, 1. The Shoreham Wading River Wildcats are the New York State Class C champs. And the long journey that started Saturday, April 6th with a 11-10 win over Wantagh has ended here at Hofstra, as Shoreham Wading River is the New York State Class C champs 10-4 over the Lakers of Skaneatles. And what a year for Skaneatles. They finished 21-3. A great season for Ron Doctor and his club. They will return. They've got some superstars on this club, some that will be going off to college, others that will be back for the next year and beyond. And Shoreham Wading River now 21-1, one of the top-ranked teams in New York State in the C. This probably, obviously, is the pinnacle right now for Tom Rotan. It took him 8 years. This is a team that was 1-15 his first year when he took over in 1995 after being the JV coach in 94. In his mind, maybe this makes up a little bit for that New York State loss that he had in 77.
This was a well-executed game plan for the Shoreham Wildcats, Hal. They were in control of the game from the opening whistle right to the very end of the game, the closing whistle. They were in control of the ball. Possession was in their behalf. Shots were in their behalf. They did everything as they had hoped that they would and planned it out. You know, you put on paper all these things and you hope that you do it. They didn't hope. They did it, and they are the Class C champs.
So Shoreham Wading River brings the Long Island Championship title to the east end of Long Island. 10-4. They win it over Skaneatles. They are New York State champs.
The gazelle-elephant, the platypussycat. The race to create such magnificent animal hybrids is extremely competitive. But ever since 2001, we've had a technological edge, a fiber optic communications network from Lightpath. It allows us to share vast amounts of data with our research partners faster and more securely. And that's led to our greatest success, the golden retriever. Thank you, Lightpath.
Hey, where do you go for your Long Island Ducks?
Where I live in Hauppauge, it's Cablevision Channel 60.
If you can't get enough Long Island Ducks this season, then catch them on Cablevision Sports. Don't miss all the action when the Bridgeport Bluefish take on the Long Island Ducks, Friday, June 14th at 7, live from Citibank Park. It's not just baseball, it's Atlantic League baseball, brought to you locally by Marshes of Huntington Village.
Only on Cablevision local programming. TV that's close to home.
The first New York State Championship in 2002 goes to the Wildcats of Shoreham Wading River as they defeat Skaneatles by the score of 10-4. Keith Irizarry downstairs with the star of our game.
Chris Unterstein, 4 years later after he became part of this varsity squad, 3 goals today. You're a state champion. Just give me the emotions of that first off.
Oh, it feels great. You know, it's something you really dream of coming to the program. You know, it's like what you go out and practice for every day. There's no better feeling.
Chris, at the beginning of the game, did you have any nerves going into the state championship?
Oh, yeah, that it was my last game as a senior. You know, after this, there was something. You could either end with a win or a loss. So.
You guys had a commanding lead. Then they cut it down to 7-4. Then you guys went on a 3-goal run. Talk a little about your run.
There was a score from front of the net. My brother came up with a huge goal. I think that kind of iced the game. You know, they're a great team. They had a huge run at the end. Same thing happening at Somers, so obviously you get a little worried, but we ended up coming out on top, which is great.
6 seniors on this team. What do you expect from Shoreham Wading River next year?
hopefully that they come back again. I don't know, there's a great group of guys in this team. We're losing a lot of seniors, but with two coaches like Dealey and Rotans, there's no doubt they'll be successful.
Good luck to you in the future, all right?
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations. They are the state champions. Shoreham-Wading River wins the state championship Class C. We go back up to the booth.
All right, Keith, thanks very much. And Hunter Steen with the big game, 3 goals. And Mark Warner, 1 goal, 4 assists. Tony Ferrara, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5-point games. The big guys stepped up for Shoreham-Wading River.
Well, they showed their balance, Hal. Offensively, they put a lot of guys into the scoring column. But on the other side of the coin, you got to give a lot of credit to the defense. Donnellan, what a great job on Pittard. Held them scoreless. He's the leading scorer up at Skaneatles. He did a great job. Fratello, Guapone, they were outstanding, and DeMarco in the goal. End to end, from one goal to the other. What a great job by the Wildcats.
So Tommy Rotans picks up his first New York State crown. We send it downstairs to Jimmy Cavallo to wrap this one up.
All right, Hal, thanks a lot, buddy. So in the Syracuse area versus Suffolk, it's Suffolk County that comes out on top. Shoreham-Wading River is your Class C champs, and Hal Sass mentioned that first year for Tom Rotans at 1-15. We'll go back to that first year, 1-15. Shoreham-Wading River scored less than 40 goals that year, 37 goals. This year, state championship year, they scored nearly 400 goals. That about puts it in perspective. A team victory, big scoring days all around, all throughout the playoffs, from the Long Island Championships right through these states. Defense just shutting down their opponents all along the way. And, of course, goalkeeping, Matt DeMarco was super. All the guys, Cervini, Shackhouse, Ferrara, Understein, everybody. It's a team championship for those Wildcats of Shoreham-Wading River. They have their first state title in the year 2002. That'll wrap up our coverage here of the boys lacrosse Class C championships. As always, here on Cablevision Sports, brought to you by Adelphi University. Check them out on the web at www.adelphi.edu and 1-800-ADELPHI. Give them a call. And by Cablevision Local Programming. It's TV that's close to home. As we leave you tonight, we take you back to the 2002 Class C playoffs. Some of the fine moments. Take a look at the credits, too. What a job by the Cablevision Sports crew. They were here all week setting up shop. They were champions themselves. So long, everybody.
If you think you know sports, then you should see Real Sports. With the best reporters in the field,